that's the one thing, and you.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Lionel, class of 2009, back with another episode of PV versus everybody, and super excited for this evening, back in full effect. As y'all seen, tried to give you guys some live content over this past weekend. We able to stream the softball game, able to stream the baseball game, and we're going to continue to try to do that for PV Nation as we get the athletic program out and above. I'm super excited, man. I'm loving, they actually streamed the softball game earlier today, and it was an awesome job. You know what I'm saying? I keep hearing Porter talk about Woodlawn Entertainment. Well, listen, they did a great job today. I love the, the coverage of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super excited to see what else we're going to be able to do throughout the rest of the spring season as well. So super excited where we're moving as far as the streaming, right? Because I just think we need to take that by it. You know what I'm saying? Just take a hold of that and grab it, because there's power in content and power in what we have in our hands through the athletic department, as far as even going out and being able to go get some more sponsorships, etc. So super excited about what they're doing and what they got going on, man. And what's going on, Zay, man? Happy you in the building. Man, let me know if you guys are watching this live, man. Go and drop in the comments that Big PV Nation, you know what I'm saying? Let me know that you're watching and checking this out. And we got some stuff to talk about, right? We got some stuff to talk about. And first and foremost, right, before we get started, I want to put this on because, listen, trying something new, right? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, throughout this evening, I need somebody to go ahead, you know what I'm saying, make use of the phone number, because I'm trying to test it in the first place. You feel me? So, it's kind of I'm also trying to test something. You feel me? So somebody, go and make use of the number and call in. We got a new call in number right there. And so we're going to have that, ticking across the bottom throughout the show. So make sure, you hit me up, right? Help your boy out, right? So I can get the call in stuff straight. So in the future, when you guys want to call in and share your thoughts, your comments about whatever it may be, we got that in order. And of course, before we jump into it, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, right? And share this out so that others in PV Nation can find us, right? Like I always say here, we're not the side piece. We're not the side conversation. We are the main dish, right? We're the main dish. And so super excited about that, man. So let's get it started. Let's talk a little bit about a couple of segments we're going to be talking about today. Obviously, we got the HBCU Legacy Bowl coming up this weekend. Hey, man. Hey, got coaches involved, got players involved. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We had the HBCU Softball Invitational that went on this past weekend in Atlanta, obviously. So that was super big, you know what I'm saying, for the ladies to be able to get out there and play against some other HBCU teams from all over the nation, right? Other MEAC schools they were able to go up against. And also, of course, A&T from the CAA. Then also, of course, you're going to have a women's weekly review. Look at, where they stand. Took some big losses this past week against Louisiana schools. So we're going to talk about that. Of course, we got the men's weekly review as well as the Cactus Jack Classic Champions. You know what I'm saying? Baseball team, you know what I'm saying, jumping on. And so we definitely we're gonna get into that. You know what I'm saying? What's up? What's up, JD? You know what I'm saying? Thank you for jumping on. JB, you know what it is, right? And last but not least, hey, listen, Coach Lindsay is making moves with the women's volleyball signees. And that's where we're going to start, man. Actually, just want to shout out to Coach Lindsay. Had a short conversation with her. She says she's looking to bring in 4 girls throughout this recruiting period, right? And so she's 3/4 of the way there. She's brought in 2 transfers and one high school graduate, right, from the class of 2024. That high school graduate is Ayanna Sherwood, right? She is actually 5'11". She's a middle blocker, that's coming from MacArthur High School over in San Antonio, Texas. And so that was one of the signees that Coach Lindsay was able to bring in. Also, 2 transfers. One transfer is Lexi Thomas from Sam Houston State. She actually started her volleyball career over at UAB. Played 1 year, set out 1 year, right? Kept that eligibility because of COVID, and then went on to play at Sam Houston State. I believe her and the other signee, which is Kaya Moore, I believe both of them have 2 years eligibility, if I'm not mistaken, right? But Lexi Thomas is coming in at 5'11" as well, right? So again, it's bringing in some more height. Obviously, we would love, you know what I'm saying, for Coach to get her hands on, you know what I mean, a 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'6", you know what I'm saying, type players, right? But hey, listen, two girls coming in at 5'11", and also Kaya Moore coming in from a SEC transfer here, right? From the University of Tennessee. Her best year at Tennessee was her sophomore year. I believe she still has 2 seasons left as well. She's coming in at 5'9". And so, Coach Lindsay is bringing in, some ladies that's going to be able to help, right? That have some experience to be able to help to continue this thing going. And of course, she brought in Ayanna Sherwood, right, who is going to be coming in as a freshman. And obviously, you've seen what we've done with freshmen over the last 2 years, with Kylie Owens last year, with Janya Henderson, right? So we know how to make it work with the freshmen, right? You know what I mean? So Coach Lindsay knows how to coach them up. So super excited about these 3 signees. She still got 1 more to go, right? So looking to see who else she lands, right? And if she goes high school or transfer portal. But just want to shout out these ladies as they're going to be coming to the Hill to put on for Prairie View, right? To work with Coach Lindsay, right? And of course, man, get that Prairie View education. So super psyched for them and about that. So let's keep it going, man. Let's talk about these selections. What's going on, D? Appreciate you for tapping in with us this week. Again, if you guys are interested in jumping on the call lines, hey, that number is below. You see it scrolling across the screen, right? So make sure you go ahead and use that number, call in, right? Like I say, I'm trying to test it out anyway. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So, y'all make use of it. But anyway, let's talk about the selection. So obviously, if you didn't know, because Willie Simmons made the decision to leave FAMU and head over to Duke, he was one of 4 coaches that was selected to co-head coach the HBCU Legacy Bowl that's going to be taking place this weekend in New Orleans at Tulane Stadium. But because he transferred to Duke, that opened up a slot, right? It opened up a position for another coach to be able to take that co-head coaching role. And none other than Bubba McDowell was actually chosen to be that head coach, right? So super excited for Coach McDowell, for him being able to slide into that position. He's going to be coaching with Coach Chennis Berry, co-head coaching with Coach Chennis Berry. I believe it's Team Robinson that he's coaching with. And also because of that, he was also able to bring over some of his assistants. And so, of course, Coach Moore, who's with the receivers, you got Coach Bradley, Coach Fossman, who's the DC, Coach Lemke, and also Coach Green, who's obviously the offensive line and recruiting coordinator. So they were also able to go and get some experience to be out there, the HBCU Legacy Bowl. And so super excited for all those guys, super excited for that experience. Also just be able to mingle with other peers, right? It's always good when you kind of rub shoulders with your peers, because listen, you can do a lot of learning when you kind of you're looking at people who are a step up, right, who are above you. But there's also a lot of learning that you can do when you kind of rub shoulders with those that are in your same ranks as well. And so super excited for them being able to get this opportunity to go out and represent Prairie View this weekend. And so being able to see what they can do. Now, I will say this, because I heard this thought process on I think it was Scotty and Perry's show about the coaches, and I thought this was a great thought process that I think would make the HBCU Legacy Bowl even better. The reality is, right, you have these kids going to this Legacy Bowl because these are like, hey guys, you look around and say, these are last year guys who did well, right, at the HBCU ranks, who put up numbers. Maybe they're a little bit undersized, etc. But this gets them some looks. We get them in front of scouts. We get their measurables right, because, hey, they may not have even had a chance to go to a combine, but we're going to bring that opportunity to them for this weekend, for this week, really, right? So with that being said, man, like, I think it would make more sense, because this is something that's done in connection with the NFL, right? NFL Network is the network that actually is, televising this event, right? Why don't you work with the NFL fellowship program, right? They have these programs where they have minority coaches coming in and coaching at on different NFL teams. You also have just NFL minority coaches all throughout the league. Why not have those coaches take on a role at the HBCU Legacy Bowl? Because if you're talking about guys who knows what it looks like and who know what they need to see from players who are going to have an opportunity or have a chance to actually make it to the next level, it's going to be NFL coaches, right? So why not actually have the NFL actually just completely tie this thing in with a nice bow and have the HBC, have these minority coaches, right, from the NFL actually take on these head coaching roles, right? They come down, right? They are putting the drills together. They are determining, they're putting, plays in from a defensive coordinator side or offensive coordinator side, right? They know exactly what they're looking for. They're on the NFL level already. And then the HBCU coaches, for example, Coach McDowell and Coach Moore, Coach Chennis Berry, etc. Whoever is playing that position and playing that role, right, from whatever school they're coming from, those guys come in as assistants. Even the head coaches come in as assistants. Now they get to learn from the NFL guys themselves throughout that week as well. So now it benefits not just the student athletes, not just these individuals that are coming that are play HBCU ball, but it also it benefits the school. It also benefits the coaches as well. I think that makes a lot more sense to handle it that way, right? Just fully tied in with the NFL. They already have a program that they've been using, right, to tap into talent, a minority talent. Like, turn around and let that minority talent come back and lead out, because listen, they've been learning and gathering up all type of information. Or again, right, you have so many minority coaches all throughout the league, right? That's DCs, that's OCs, and not even just head coaches, right? There's so many people you can tap into. I think that would be a better option, right? I think that would take it to the next level. Like, this is good, but this is put together so that these guys have a chance at the next level, right? Bring guys in from the next level. And I mean, again, right, you can do the same thing tapping in with the not the XFL anymore, right? With the UFL, right? You can do the same type of tie-in. because the UFL is going to be looking for the same type of measurables. They're looking for the same type of thing that people in the NFL looking for. They're looking for fringe NFL guys. That's what they're looking for, right? So they know exactly what NFL execs is looking for too. So to me, I'm like, that would be spot on, right? That's how we take it to another level and get even better with this HBCU Legacy Bowl. But super excited again for the opportunity they're giving to these guys, man. Because obviously, you don't know how long even these things last. So just to be able to give an opportunity to go is a blessing, man. It's a blessing. So keeping it going, man. Just talk real quick about the selections from Prairie View that's going to be there. We have 5 individuals that's actually going to be taking part in this HBCU Legacy Bowl. So super excited for each of these guys who are actually selected to be a part of this week. Who are also going to be a part and be able to play in the game on this weekend. 2 offensive linemen, right? Eric Dunn and Arrington Taylor. So super excited for both of those guys to be able to go. Also Keyshawn Johnson, linebacker Travion Green, and Miles McHaney the 4th, right? So all these guys obviously are going to be taking part of this HBCU Legacy Bowl. They've been there. You had Travion Green and Miles McHaney, obviously, who started that a little bit earlier, right? You know what I'm saying? But all these guys have a chance. Now, the thing is, right, at the end of the day, and I had pulled the measurables up a little bit earlier, right, and checked those out actually on yesterday. Look at a lot of HBCU guys, right? They're undersized when you talk about the position they played. And a lot of times because we are, we have guys playing in positions that are probably not the most opportunistic position for them on the next level. And that's just the reality sometimes, right? We have guys playing tackle who really at the next level would be guard or center, right? You know what I'm saying? We got guys playing, defensive end who really probably should be linebackers at the next level. So, a lot of times that's just the reality, with how we working with what we got at the HBCU level, right? And so a lot of these guys, when you look at the measurables, their measurables don't meet to the NFL measurables that you need. And so it's going to be interesting to see what guys really get a look and get a shot, especially as we continue to go toward draft season, right? And get some more pro days on the school campuses, and also get to the time where, teams are going to be doing some stuff as well. So now, with that being said, we have 3 guys, right, specifically who got combine invites. Number 1, Jaquan Bloomfield, right, has a CFL combine invite. If you didn't know, he is coming from Canada, right? You know what I'm saying? Did go to ULM and then slid over to Prairie View. But hey, listen, back in the home country, the CFL, obviously, Reggie Stubblefield is another guy who we had from Prairie View, went to Kansas State, and he's playing in the CFL. He played in the CFL last year, won a Grey Cup. I think he's going to definitely be gone from the CFL and be on an NFL roster somewhere this year. But Jaquan Bloomfield, shouts out to him, man, for getting that CFL combine invite. Hopefully he does well there and is able to, hey, man, put his name in the ring, man, and get a shot to play at the next level. I don't know exactly when that CFL combine is. I would have to look that up. But yeah, man, he got an invite. Also, Miles McHaney the 4th was invited to the HBCU Legacy Bowl combine, right? The HBCU combine. That's a part of the whole Legacy Bowl week. So he was there this week, right? Early in the week on Monday, right? They ran their tests and their drills. And so he did pretty well. Also, Travion Green, who, had one of the, as far as what he did right there, especially his 40 time, I think jumped off of the page for a lot of people, right? Coming in at linebacker. Obviously, he was listed at 5'11", 5'11", right? Inches, 190 pounds. And hey, listen, his 40 time was he ran a 4.43 and a 4.40, right? So listen, second fastest 40 time of the whole combine, right? And so that's definitely something that I think stood out. Now the question is going to be, they're obviously going to look back and say, man, let's go and look at his film, because he's obviously a guy who was undersized at linebacker. And so the question is going to be, man, can he switch into another position that fits his measurables a little bit better? And so that's really going to be the question, man. So I see said, man, I'm not sure if Coach Whedon is going to be a part of the coaching staff. They did name, the coaching staff a little earlier, so I'm not sure if he's going to be coming because all the coaching staff from Prairie View is not invited to the combine. So I'm pretty sure he's probably not tapping in there. So yeah, man, we just been talking about the HBCU Legacy Bowl that's coming up, the combine. We talked about the volleyball signees as well so far. What's going on, Boom? Appreciate you and all you do. Now, other thing I want to share, man, that I think is super dope with terms of the HBCU Legacy Bowl, and I think it's a big upgrade from what I saw last year, is these uniforms. Like, I love the uniforms. Like, the gear this year was fire, and it had that like Mardi Gras theme with the colors and everything. That's so New Orleans. Like, A+ on the uniform. So I'm gonna let you guys check this video out. And if you didn't see it, if you didn't see this on Instagram, man, you see, man, the uniforms to me are A1. Spot on, man. I love the uniforms, man. Obviously, gradient element. I actually wasn't integrated. It's your boy, you heard, back again. Like, everywhere. DJ Manny. I really like that during that time. Like, it didn't match every school, but I actually like these gradients. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not somebody who likes the gradients, period, point blank. But I think these go really well, right? You know what I'm saying? With that kind of, turquoise, greenish color going to the white, and then the white going to the green for the white for the home away jerseys. I think that's dope, right? So I love those uniforms, man. That swag they got this year is on point. So shouts out to everybody that's being a part of that and being a part of the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Man, check out the game this weekend. I believe it's going to be on the NFL Network, right? Sometime in the afternoon on Saturday, I believe. So if you got a chance, you guys can check that out. So let's keep it going, man. Because listen, we got to get into this. We got to get into this basketball. We got to get into this basketball recap. And again, for y'all who maybe just jumped on, you see the ticker at the bottom right scrolling. 346-248-7799 is the call-in number. 346-248-7799. That's the call-in number. So hey, man, if you want to share your thoughts, you can just call in. I can add you on, and you can share to us. And again, somebody go and call in, because I'm really trying to test it out. You feel me? I'm trying to make sure, it work actually. So anyway, somebody go and do your boy a favor. But anyway, so the women's team right now, 9-14, 5-8 in conference, right? 9-14 overall, 5-8 in conference. These last two games, even though we lost the last two games, the team, like the women's team, played very well these last two games. Obviously they was in both of the games, dropped the Southern game in overtime, really lost that Grambling game late. Really was that third quarter that really hurt us a lot. But I loved how we played in the last two games. Now, I think the girls team really missed Adriana Waddle, right? And especially from a defensive standpoint, she's somebody who helps to, contest shots, block shots, right? Helps on the rebound and get on the boards, right? So I really feel like they missed her these last two games. But Amari Williams definitely stepped up against Southern, as well. So, it was a good game. They dropped the first game against Southern 75-68, lost that game, like I said, in overtime. Pretty even throughout the first half. Southern kind of took the third quarter, and then we kind of blitzed back in the fourth to tie the game up. But then, man, we lost steam in that fourth quarter and couldn't get over the hump. So when you look at the numbers, man, first and foremost, listen, Ryan Payne is cementing herself as like, she should be the newcomer of the year. Like, she is definitely top 3, period. But man, she's really putting in work. Without her, we would be nowhere. We would be in substantial trouble if Ryan Payne wasn't a part of this team right now, because the bulk of the scoring, right? She's scoring literally a third to a half of the team points right now. Like, she's really carrying the load, the whole load right now, right? from an offensive standpoint. So 21 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 steals. It was one of her best overall games of the season. Turnover numbers were lower this game as well, too. Amari Williams, as you see, 14.6 rebounds. And then Jada Robertson with 11 points. Of course, if you see at the bottom right, bench points, though, Southern outscored Prairie View 34-10. So that lets you know, we top heavy right now, and we're not getting any help off the bench, any scoring help off the bench, right? And so, that bodes for a lot of trouble, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we got to have somebody, like we need to have more consistent scoring across the board. And that's really been giving us trouble. You know what I'm saying? So obviously Fontenot dropped 17 points, 3 rebounds. Taylor had 13 points, and Anaya had 12 points for Southern. And I believe they, majority, I believe, man, they had like 9 players who scored this past game, right? So again, when you talk about the amount of people, right, that were able to put the ball in the bucket, you need that. It's a team game, you know what I'm saying? Especially in college. This ain't one-on-one like NBA. You feel me? So at the end of the day, we're gonna need to really be able to get somebody, some more of the ladies to step up and be able to put the ball in the bucket, right? Also, if you look, we shot 92% from the free throw line, but only 6%, 6.3% from the 3-point line, right? 1 of 16. So we've had a lot of trouble shooting from 3 just throughout the season, period, right? And so obviously this is one of the things that has been our downfall, so that bench scoring and also not being able to put the ball in the bucket from outside from 3, really is a lot of trouble, for us this past game. So moving on to Graham game, we dropped that one 64-55. Like I said, we were up at halftime by 4 points, I believe. Came out in that third, man. That third was really crucial, the third quarter. And man, we really came out slow. We came out slow. I think we didn't get a bucket to probably 5-6 minutes in, right? And by that time, Graham had already took the lead. So I believe he's up either about 4 or 6. I can't remember, but either way, I just remember, man, that third quarter started off really, really slow. And so that really was a downfall for this team when you're talking about this past game against Grambling. Fought well though, stayed in the game, kind of kept it close, and tried to fight throughout that third, but in the fourth they just pulled away. So Prien, had 16 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds for Grambling. Wormsley, 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals. And then Anijah Grant had 8 points and 8 rebounds. Right now, if you look at the Lady Panthers again, you see Ryan Payne. We got somebody around that 10 to 14 range, and then we got a big drop off after that, and that's just period. That's just this team. And if you look, Ryan Payne scored 26 points. I mean, that's basically 50% of this team's points this past game. And hey, listen, it's not on like, hey, Ryan don't score. It's on like, man, we need to bring some other people, along the way with us, right? So 26.5 rebounds, 3 steals for Ryan Payne. 13.6 rebounds and 5 assists for Jerlyn Smith. Had a really good game. Was definitely hitting that mid-range jumper throughout this game against Grambling. Had a couple shots that I know she probably want back because I think she definitely had an opportunity to be closer to that 20-point range. If she, some of those shots she definitely want to take back. And then, of course, we got Jessica Solders had 5.6 rebounds, but 5 turnovers on the day, right? Free throw percentage, we shot 60.9%. Grambling shot 37.9% from the free throw line. So that lets you know, right? We didn't shoot great. We typically shoot a little bit better from the free throw line. Obviously, you lose those points, right? That's big, right? If you're talking about 9 free throws missed, 10 free throws missed, that's big when you're talking about a game that's a gap of 9 points. And then, of course, Grambling shot horrible from the free throw line. So, that was another contributing factor to them. Not probably pulling away a little bit earlier. Points in the paint, 36-16 from Grambling, right? So obviously they were in the lane. We didn't do well in the lane all night, right? A lot of trouble around the basket for us this game. And then bench points, 34-7, outscored. Grambling 34 points to our 7 points. Bench points. So again, another game showing that hey, we need some help coming off the bench, right? We need some help behind Ryan Payne, and then whoever else is gonna be the number 2 that game. Like, we need a strong 3, and then we need a 4 to come along as well, right? So that, at the end of the day, you're gonna need multiple players to put the ball in the basket. We're talking about winning games, but overall, this Southern and Grambling games, these last 2 games, this showed me like, okay, this team can play, with these teams, right? They have the ability to play with these teams. Of course, Jackson State. At the end of the day, Jackson State is definitively the number 1 team. I think they are. I think they're solidified their place, right? 13-0 right now, 18-6 on the season. They're completely like on their own. They're at the number 1 spot. They're by themselves, right? Then you got Grambling, you got Arkansas, Pine Bluff, you got Southern, right? To me, those 3 are bunched up here. And Pine Bluff, I had them as the definitive number 2, but looking at them on the last couple games, and then obviously the trouble that they had this past game, just from a player personnel standpoint, the issues that kind of came up, you definitely got to say, okay, they're definitely in that bunch with Grambling and Southern for sure, solidified there. Arkansas Pine Bluff gave us far more trouble, even though the first Grambling game was a blowout. I think it was just the first Grambling and Southern game were blowouts. Both of those games were really just bad. It was horrible games. I feel like Arkansas Pine Bluff just completely outplayed us, right? I don't think Grambling and Southern was just like we got completely outplayed. We just made a lot of bad, crazy mistakes, mental mistakes, right? And so that Pine Bluff team, I feel like Jackson State and Pine Bluff is kind of, that's just kryptonite right there. But when it comes to Grambling and Southern, I think we could have a legit shot in Birmingham of beating one or both of those teams, right? We have a good night. And I think everybody else, right, under there obviously it's all up for the grabs, right? It depends on who's playing well that day. So, if this team can get to that 5-6 spot, I think that would be the best slot for them to be in, right? Anywhere 5, 6, 7, I think is okay. They just don't want to be out of the tournament, 9 to 12, and you don't want to be in the 8th spot and have to play Jackson State. But I think the 6, 7 spot is the best, because you're going to play against either Graham, Pine Bluff, or Southern, and then you're going to have one of them. If you can get past one of those teams, you're going to have one of the other teams in the semifinal round, and you don't have to deal with Jackson State until the championship game, right? But of course, you're in the 8 slot or in the 5 slot, you're going to have to deal with Jackson State early. So I think that would be a perfect place for them to land, is 6 or 7. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I got Southern 4th and 7th. Man, how I do that? You know what I mean? So who done messed up? Got Alabama State. Bethune is supposed to be in that 7th slot. So that's my bad. Yes, Bethune is supposed to be in that 7th slot. Not Southern twice. So Bethune is 5-8, along with us and Alcorn State. And obviously Bethune beat us, so that's why they got the tiebreaker over us. We have the tiebreaker over Alcorn because we beat them. So anyway, so last couple games, man, we got Jackson, we got Pine Bluff again. We have Alcorn, Texas Southern, and Valley. I believe those are the last 5. Yeah, those are the last 5 games, right? So a game against Valley, game against Alcorn again, game against Texas Southern. Then we have Jackson State and Pine Bluff, right? So you're looking at like, man, the girls really need to win 3 of those 5 games, right? To be at the end of the day, right? Because probably going to drop Jackson game, probably going to drop the Arkansas Pine Bluff game, maybe. So you really gotta beat Alcorn, Texas Southern, Valley. You definitely got to come home with wins in those games. So let's keep it going. So let's talk about the men's team. Boom says, man, too many times they're not scoring. Yeah, they go on really long droughts, like really, really long droughts. That is really bad. Roderick, what's going on? Yeah, not what we were expecting this year. Definitely. I think the ladies definitely showed a lot of effort these last couple of games, which is, to me, is kind of flipped from early in the season. I feel like the men was showing more effort early in the season, and the ladies are kind of trying to figure themselves out, right? And I think a part of that was, right, Coach Pugh also trying to figure out, her lineups and things of that nature. What's going on, Hoop, man? Appreciate you for stepping over and joining us, man. I know you I know you got the basketball knowledge, man. So definitely call in if you want to share your thoughts. So let's keep it going. Talk about the men's the men's games these past 2 weeks. 77-71 loss to Southern. And then, of course, we dropped the game to Grambling as well. So looking at this game against Southern, Brian Miles, 18 points, 5 rebounds. Hey, not a double-double. You know, he's been a double-double machine throughout this year. Didn't get the double-double this game, but 18 points, 5 rebounds. Charles Smith, the fourth, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And then we had Javante Hopkins with 14 points and 4 assists. Of course, on Southern side, right, had Mr. Brandon Davis with 20 points and 4 assists. DeLange had 11 points and 4 blocks. And then Derek Tizino had 9 points and 10 rebounds. And Southern also had 2 other guys in double figures, right? So they definitely spread the love when you talk about, scoring the basketball. We were outscored 26-7 in bench points. So they let you know already. After the first 5, right, we didn't have anybody, right, who came alongside them to help them when you talk about putting the ball in the basket. If you can look and see, right, we shot 33% from 3. Southern shot 50% from 3. They were 7 of 14. We were 2 of 6, right? So that's 15. That's a 15-point difference right there from the 3-point line. So that's really, really big when you talk about, these slim margins of 6 points, right? So obviously the game was pretty close throughout, right? We had to battle back, got down a couple times, battled back, got down, battled back, right? We just couldn't ever get over the hump at the end of the day, but they fought well, showed that they definitely can play with Southern. Now, obviously, Southern's leading scorer was out this game, but at the end of the day, hey, listen, you got to play who's in front of you. So we appreciate that them for putting in the work and getting it done. So 83-74 loss against Grambling on Monday. So again, 2 losses to the Louisiana schools. And so, men are putting themselves in a tough position coming down to the end of this SWAC basketball schedule. Now, Brian Miles went ballistic. 27 points, 10 rebounds. I mean, when you just look at the SWAC conference play, he has had to put himself in the conversation for maybe a second team, player. I mean, he's averaging a double-double in SWAC conference play, right? And so this game, 27 points, 10 rebounds. Man, he was amazing, right? Javante Hopkins with 27 points, 4 rebounds. The third scorer, Charles Lane, had 8 points off the bench. 8 points, right? This game. And I believe he started this game, right? So if you look bench points, both teams, right? Not a lot of scoring off the bench this past game. Only 14 points for Grambling, 5 for us this game. But man, 5 points off the bench, you're not gonna get it done, man. If you only leaning on those first 5, man, you got to spread the wealth around. That's really what you want to be able to do. And so obviously that's trouble. Also, Grambling shot 9 more free throws than us this game. So we always talk about the free throw disparity, especially early in the season. When we talk about the foul trouble that we were getting in, giving teams a lot more free throw opportunities than us, 10, 12, 14 more free throw shots a game. That's a big difference, especially when we talk about really close margins, games under 10 points, man. Like that free throw disparity can really swing a game. And sometimes some games we shot really well from the free throw line. And so, that you're talking about games being won or lost by having these extra free throw attempts. So 9 extra free throw attempts for Grambling this game. As you look, Moulton had 20 points, 3 steals. Antoine Burton, 19 points, 8 rebounds. And then Jonathan Aku, 12 points and 8 rebounds for Grambling. So Grambling comes through with this win right now. They're sitting, man, pretty. They're sitting really pretty in first place. Man, this graphic is all the way off. Let me pull up. I don't know how I messed that graphic up. I thought I changed the graphic. Let me pull up the SWAC standings right now for men's basketball, because I know Grambling and Southern both are in the lead right now at 10-3. And I think Grambling has the tiebreaker over Southern because Grambling beat Southern early in the season. Then you got Jackson State, Texas Southern, and Alcorn State all at 8-5. After that, you got Bethune-Cookman, Alabama State, and Alabama A&M all at 7-6, right? So there's tiebreakers all over. Arkansas Pine Bluff is sitting in the ninth spot at 6-7. PV, we're sitting at 5-8 in that 10th spot. Then you got Florida A&M at 2-11, Mississippi Valley at 0-13. So right now, the men has not done themselves any favors. You really got 5 games left to make a move, and just to get into the tournament, period, right, at the end of the day. And so, we're really going to have to, knock out some teams that are in a more advantageous position than us. You got Valley, who's on 13, right? You hope you'll be able to come home with a win there. Then you still got Alcorn and Jackson State at home. You got Arkansas Pine Bluff on the road, and you got Texas Southern at the Hope Arena, right? So, listen, all of these games at the end of the day, like, these are not games that you can. We obviously our game against Alcorn didn't go well at all. Like, that was a blowout. It got away from us early. So you're hoping that we can get that win here at home. Had Jackson State, we're able to go to Jackson and get that win. But again, that's not a game that you think that you just think automatically can win. Right now, Jackson's on a 4-game winning streak. Then you got Texas Southern, man, who's sitting at 8-5 as well, tied for third. So and they are able to knock off Southern, right? This past Monday. So at the end of the day, like, you got teams that's playing well, and these are teams, especially like a Texas Southern, that's known to play well toward the end of the season, going into the tournament. And so, hey, at the end of the day, if the men are going to get into the tournament, they're going to have to start rolling. They're going to either go into the tournament on a streak and looking like, hey, they're playing a lot better, or they're just not going to make it to the tournament. That's really the reality for them right now. So they do play 1, 2, 3 teams, 4 teams that's above them right now. 3 of those teams are actually have a 1 through 8 seed at this moment. So they have a chance basically to be able to play themselves into the tournament at the end of the day. The question is just, do they get it done or not? That's the reality. What's going on, Golden Boot, man? Appreciate y'all for jumping on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's poor Ant, man. Appreciate y'all jumping on to the show, man. We're just talking a little swag basketball. You know what I mean? And now, man, we're going to get into that softball, man. We're going to get into the softball. I actually was talking to Coach Lane earlier last week before they went to the HBCU Softball Invitational out in Atlanta, and he was talking about how the team typically over the last couple of years has started off slow. So that's something that they've seen over the last couple of years, and they're hoping to start better this year. Last year they started off on a 10-game losing streak before they really got rolling. But he was like, man, I saw the bat start to come alive. Obviously, they dropped a couple games in that Cardinal Invitational at Incarnate Word in San Antonio, Texas. But he was like, hey, man, like, I'm seeing that bat come alive. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, these he's like, man, these ladies are getting geared up. And so starting off, ran the first game in the Invitational, HBCU Softball Invitational, was against Howard. And listen, that one wasn't pretty at all, right? That one was not pretty at all. So drop that game against Howard 10-3. So really started off slow in that game. I mean, Howard really jumped out to a lead in that game, and at the end of the day, man, it's like the Lady Panthers really never got their feet settled under them, until a couple innings later. And by then, man, everything was done. You know what I mean? And so dropped that game 10-3 against Howard. I didn't have, the specific stats for that. There was no box score specifically for, that game. But, there's box scores for some of the games in the future, right? So they did play Maryland Eastern Shore on Friday as well. That was also an afternoon game. And they, got past those Maryland Eastern Shorners, 9-3 against that other MEAC team without a football team, of course, but 9-3 win, right? So that was a big win, right? Finally getting their first win of the season. Obviously, the Bats came alive with 9 runs in that game. So super good game for them to be able to get that win. Then, of course, they took on North Carolina Central, which they lost that game 9-0, right? So put up 9 runs. This is the first game on Saturday. Not able to do anything with North Carolina Central. Central looks like they took a 2-0 lead in the first inning, and then also put up 7 runs in the fourth inning. And of course, the rule is more than 8 runs at the end of the fifth inning, and that's kind of that kind of ends the game, right? So that's the rules in softball. So 9-0 there. Looks like Haley Elizaris started that game, pitched that game, so she took the loss. Of course, we couldn't do anything, against North Carolina Central's pitcher that game, which Miss Davis. So no hits on the day at all for any of the Lady Panthers in 15 at bat. So that was just an all-around bad game for PV, no matter how you spin it. You feel me? So then we go on to the game against South Carolina State, another game where the bats opened up. We won that game 8-3. Jerica Rojas pitched that game, so she took her first win of the season in that game. So she's now 1-1. So we started out right in bottom of the first, putting up 2 runs, and then we also put up 4 runs in the fourth inning. Right at that time, right before the beginning of the fourth inning, we were up 4-3. That obviously opened up the game. Right, put up 4 more runs in that inning and end up closing it out at the top of the 7th. So we talk about this game. Mia Nunez, right? She had 2 RBIs on 2 hits in 3 at bats. You also had Viviana Figueroa. She had 2 RBIs as well in her 3 at bats. And then also Adria Garcia also came up with 2 big hits as well, right? So super excited to see those ladies come up and step to the plate. Put some runs on the board, obviously, again, against South Carolina State. And in this game, Jerica Rojas actually pitched all 7 innings, right? 5 strikeouts on the day, facing 28 batters total, right? And only giving up 3 runs. So that's awesome to have somebody that's able to go 7, right? You know what I'm saying? So definitely super excited for them being able to get that win. Now, keeping it going, obviously the last game of the tournament. So they ended the tournament 3-2. The mercy rule. It was the game against the game early against North Carolina Central, right? They mercy ruled them. So then they had North Carolina A&T to end the tournament on Sunday. So again, 10-9, man, super, super good game. Close game, came down to the wire. Actually went 8 innings. And so we jumped out to the 3-0 lead at the bottom of the second inning. Both teams scored 3 runs in the third inning. So we were up 6-3. Then North Carolina A&T scored 3 runs at the top of the fourth. So 3 runs in back-to-back innings. So it was 6-6 game. Then we alternated a run in the 5th and the 6th. And then in the 8th, at the top of the 8th inning, A&T scored 2 runs. The bottom of the 8th inning, we scored 3 runs and took the win. So Kaylin Massey came and took the win in that game. So that was her first win of the season. She's 1-2 total on the season. Brianna Reyna was the starting pitcher. She pitched 4 innings. She gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, right, and only 2 strikeouts and 20 batters faced. And then Kayla Massey came and closed out the last 4 innings. She gave up 7 hits, but only 3 runs and struck out 1 batter. So also, when you talk about the Lady Panthers, as far as who put in the work, right, you know what I'm saying, from the batting side of things, Destiny Smith, the shortstop, she had 3 RBIs on 2 hits this game. Kaylin Herrera came in and pinch hit, played second base. She put in 2 RBIs this game, as well as Mia Nunez and Audrey Garcia also put in 2 RBIs as well. The team was led in hits by Nia Brown, and she also led the teams in runs scored with 3. And that was the game against North Carolina A&T. And then, last but not least, for the Lady Panthers today, they went back home, got the new scoreboard up and everything, right? You know what I'm saying? And took care of North Dakota, which is awesome, right? To get an out-of-conference win, 11-3, right? Obviously, as you see on the screen, right, they had 10 hits. So doubled up North Dakota on the hits, right? 10 hits to their 5. Both teams had 1 error. But we were able to get that win, and Brianna Reyna actually pitched all 5 innings. It was another mercy rule game, right? Again, more than 8 runs after the 5th inning. and they shut that thing down, right? So Brianna Reyna actually took the win, her first win of the season, right? Only 2 losses, so 5 innings pitched. She only gave up 3 runs, only 2 earned runs, right? And that's in 20 that's what 20 batters faced. North Dakota actually used 3 pitchers on the day, but nobody could do anything with the Lady Panthers, right? Obviously, total they gave up 11 runs total. And you look at the RBIs. Audrey Garcia had 2 hits and 2 at bats for 2 RBIs. She also scored a run. Jalen Davis hit a big double that brought in 2 runs on her 1 hit. And then, hey, listen, Aaron Talley with the big bomb, right? Almost straight away to center field. And so she brought in 2 RBIs also on her 1 hit and 3 at bats, but also with that big home run, right? In order to take care of that game. And also, man, it was big, to see the baseball team out there. 98 people total in attendance for the game. Definitely could hear and tell, man, the crowd was there and active. So super excited for all those who were able to go out to the PV Softball Complex and check that game out. Beautiful, beautiful field, right? Obviously it's been renovated. They were able to move the fence back so that it's now in a position that it needs to be in and be able to host NCAA tournament games. Obviously saw the new scoreboard there, right? We was able to put points on the scoreboard, which is really what matters, right? So super excited for the softball team, them being able to go and take that win. Said our main pitchers have been going 7 innings. Yeah, definitely. So we definitely have pitchers on the softball side of things that can go the distance, and so that's really a big thing. You know what I'm saying? And Boom said, man, it was a great day for a game. Yeah, it felt great out there. So super excited for everybody that's able to go out and enjoy that. I see Golden Boot, man, talking about the spring game dates. I was given the date and I done forgot it now. But I believe it's that second Saturday in April, I believe. So I believe it's the 13th. Yeah, I believe the spring game, Prairie View spring game is the 13th. So make sure you guys mark y'all calendars and get out because, hey, listen, we got something for y'all. I know y'all don't like talking about PV, but we got something for y'all. We got something for y'all this year. So make sure y'all lock in that date for the spring game. And yeah, man, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you like and subscribe and share. So let's move on, man, and talk about this win. These champions at the Cactus Jack Classic. We're not even going to talk about the game yesterday on Tuesday because, listen, out of conference game, you know what I'm saying? this is a scrimmage. You feel me? Let's talk about the Cactus Jack Classic, man. The Prairie View men's baseball team were able to go to the Cactus Jack Classic and take care of business, right? Talking about 3 games, and 2 of the games actually able to come back and get a win. Obviously, the biggest, comeback was that last game against Alcorn, down 10-2. But started it off, man. They had to start it off over against Grambling, right? You know what I'm saying? In Minute Maid Park, over against Grambling. And, they were able to come out and bring the win home. So that first game, Michael Dews was the starting pitcher. So he took away the first win. He took away the win in that game, right? He pitched 7 innings, right? Only gave up 4 hits and 2 earned runs. Also 9 strikeouts, right? With 26 batters faced. He was relieved by, Rafael Capistrand, who pitched 1 inning. Only gave up 2 hits and 3 runs with 2 earned runs, right? And then Charles Jackson and Carlos Peguera actually closed it out, right? And so Michael Dews, man, able to pitch those 9 innings. It's always great to have pitchers that's able to go deep, go deep throughout the game, man, because obviously, that's what you want to be able to do is be able to not have to lean on, on your rotation, like all throughout, every game. So super good to be able to have starting pitching that can go that deep. When you talk about, from the hitting side of things, that game, Garrison Weiss had 2 hits out of his 4 at-bats with 3 RBIs, and he also had 2 runs. Michael Burrows, 2 RBIs on 1 hit in 4 at-bats. He also brought in 1 run. And then Jonas Marshall, 1 RBI with Tyron Norris, Trenton Bush, and also Derek Lathan, also bringing in 1 RBI each. Tyron Norris was the only one out of that group that had more than 1 hit. He was 2 of 4 He was 2 hits in his 4 at bats, on this day, right? So super excited for the men being able to take home that win against Grambling. Obviously, the scores started at the top of the the top of the second. We put up 2 runs, then Grambling scored 1. Then scoring stopped right until the top of the 8th inning. Obviously, that's when Michael Dews was set down. And then we put up 3 runs at the top of the 8th. Grambling put up a run at the bottom, so we went up 5-2 going into the 9th. Top of the 9th, we scored 5 runs to put the game away. Grambling did manage to score 3 runs at the bottom of the 9th, but we were able to close the deal right and get the job done. So that was game 1. Game 2 was against Texas Southern, right? Game 2 was against Texas Southern, our rival. It was a great atmosphere, man. Great atmosphere. Like you can hear the banter going back and forth. I really loved it, right? So wasn't a huge amount of people in attendance, but you can feel the energy, right? You know what I'm saying? A little bit over 700 people in attendance, but you can feel the energy all throughout it. So Matthew Crawl took the start for this game against Alfred Dalton for Texas Southern. So he was able to come away with the win this game. He went 5 innings pitched, only gave up 2 hits, 3 earned runs, right, and also had 3 strikeouts, right, on 18 batters faced. Victor Mendoza, who came in, man, and really had the crowd hype, right, really gave us that energy, was just talking noise to the Texas Southern bench, right. He came in and pitched 4 innings, right, had 5 strikeouts and gave up no runs, right, and faced 15 batters. So Victor Mendoza, man, did an awesome job, number 17 for the PV Panthers. So with Texas Southern, their starting pitcher only went 1 inning, right? You know what I'm saying? Gave up earned run in that first inning and, walked a batter as well. And so he was pulled. Then it had Dominic Martin, which went 5 innings pitched, and then Isaac Garcia went 2 innings. Dominic gave up 7 hits and 3 earned runs in facing 21 batters. Now, we talk about from the hitting side of things, right? Michael Smith, the freshman, I mean, he played well all throughout this Cactus Jack Classic, and really solidified himself as just a big time player, big time batter, man. And he leads off on this team, right? In that leadoff spot, he had 2 hits on 4 at bats for 2 RBIs this game. Garrison Weiss, 1 hit for 4 at bats, and then you also had a run scored from Tyron Norris, Jonas Marshall, and Lee Allen, as well as Isaac Davila, right? And so, really took advantage of being able to, get on base, in unique ways this game. Obviously, right, they gave up 4 walks to us, right, and we were really able to use the base pass to get scores throughout this game. Texas Southern went up 3-0 in the top of the second, and we didn't score to the bottom of the 5th, right? So then we scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th, tied the game at 3-3. We scored a run in the 6th and the 7th, and then was able to hold on for the victory. So big victory, big victory, right, for PV, because Texas Southern last year obviously, had our number. So it's good for us to start the season with the win against Texas Southern. And then last but not least, I know many of y'all saw this game. Down 10-2 early on, right? Down 10-2. I think we were down 10-2 at the top of the 3rd, right? We gave up 2 runs in the first, got a run at the bottom of the 1st, right? Then we got another run at the bottom of the 2nd. So tied 2-2 going into the top of the 3rd. Alcorn scores 8 runs in the top of the 3rd. So you're up 10-2. But then we come back to the bottom of the 3rd and score 5 runs, right? So we only down 10-7. Then we score 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th, right? Only down 10-8. They score a run in the top of the 5th. So it's 11-8. We score 2 runs at the bottom of the 5th, 11-10. Then they score 2 runs in this, 1 run in the 6th, 1 run in the 7th, and go up 13-10, right? Sorry, yeah. And they go up 13-10. Let me make sure my math is off. Yeah, 13-12. I'm sorry, 13-12, right? And so then they score 1 run in the top of the 9th, 14-12. We're able to get the job done and come home with the victory with 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th, right? 14-15, right? With, again, over 700 in attendance on this day. And so we talk about the pitching, right? Devin Aguado took home the win for us. In this game, we had 6 pitchers pitched this game, right? Starting with Preston Allen, who came in and pitched 2 innings, gave up 7 hits and 5 runs. Then we had Corey Batty, who was not able to get any outs, actually. He's the freshman, right? Definitely very talented freshman. And so I know we're going to be seeing him again, right, and get his other shot, right, to come out for us on the mound. He gave up 4 runs, right, 1 earned run. Then we had Tyson Carlton, who gave up 4 hits and only 2 runs and pitched 2 innings for us, right? Todd Tubbs pitched the inning. Julian Scott pitched the inning. Both of them gave up a run, as well as Aguado, right? So, this was definitely, when you talk about a win, man, this was a team victory. You talk about the bullpen, right? The bullpen, we pieced it together, right, in order to get the job done. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, right? What matters is getting the job done, right? So when you talk about home runs, Trenton Bush with 1 big homer, home run, right, for the team. And then we talk about RBIs. He brought in 3 RBIs. He was 2 for 3 on the day with 3 runs. Then Michael Smith with 2 RBIs. He was 1 for 3 and also scored 3 runs on the day. Garrison Weiss was 3 for 5, right? Man, big time, man, big time. Also scored 2 runs and batted in 2. And then Tyran Norris. He was 3 of 6 on the day with 1 run, but 2 RBIs. And listen, those RBIs were major, all right? They were major. They were big time, right? As a matter of fact, they were so big time.
That's the one thing, and you mentioned it earlier. The one thing Prairie View has done tonight, they have been so disciplined at the plate.
Yes, they
really have.
They don't chase a lot.
Ford delivers, swung on, hit, and it's going to drop for a base hit. And here comes the runner at second base, and Prairie View is going to have a walk-off victory tonight at Minute Maid Park. They pushed all the right buttons today, and Tyra Norris right there delivered a shot, and the Panthers.
Hey, listen, Tyra Norris, man, big hit, right? At the bottom of the extra innings, right? You know what I'm saying? No, bottom of the 9th inning, right? In order for us to get that win. So listen, shouts out to you, my guy. Shouts out to Tyra Norris, man, for that big hit. Because listen, it was two strikes on that count, right? And it was 2 outs. I think it was the 1-2 pitch that he hit, man, and took it to center field. And the rest is history. So I'm super excited, man, about him being able to drive in that run and for us being able to get the dub. And yeah, man, I'm just really excited for the spring season. We obviously had the indoor track indoor SWAC championships this past weekend as well. I wasn't able to get that information for everything for all the individuals. I do know that we finished 2nd in the men's competition as a team, and we finished 3rd in the women's side as a team, right? And so that's big when you talk about the Commissioner's Cup, right? Because those seedings and those positions, right, going to have a big effect on that. Definitely wish we were able to see the women get another championship, right? But outdoor season, hey, it's still to come. And so for the men's and women's team, we still have that chance to grab that outdoor championship for this year. So, man, appreciate everybody for jumping on. Unfortunately, we had nobody call. You know what I'm saying? Nobody called in. I thought Elvin was gonna hit us up. You know what I mean? But it looks like Elvin didn't want to hit us up. So, you know what I mean? I guess it's gotta be another time. But yeah, man, we are getting ready. Again, just want to remind you guys all that we are on Twitter over at PV_versus_. Everybody, make sure you're following us over there and go ahead and give us a like and subscribe to the channel. The goal is to get to 500 subscribers by the summer. When we get to 500, we got something special. For all the subscribers, right? We're going to do, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe, share with others in PV Nation. Let them know we're here. You know, this is a platform for us and for our student athletes to uplift them, right? And so let them know, you know what I'm saying, that we over here. And like I say, man, the goal is to get to those 5,000 subs. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. And just a reminder, you know what I'm saying? We getting those season tickets, you feel me? We getting those season tickets. Hey, listen, we already talked about, I know Golden Boot came on, talk about spring games, you know what I'm saying? Spring game is April 13th. It's going to be April 13th. So, you know, that probably means that they're going to be kicking off practices probably that third, fourth week of March, right? So super excited to see, you know what I'm saying, and hear about that. Because, hey, listen, we got a new guy in the saddle at the OC position too. So really super excited to see what he's going to be doing. And listen, we're working to be able to get an interview with the new OC, man. So, you know, when we got that locked in, we definitely want you guys to be able to come on over and check that out. But make sure you get your season tickets over in section 107, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, only less than 50 seats available. Last time I checked, it was actually less than, I think it was like 34 seats available last time I checked, actually, right? So this need to be updated, right? You know what I'm saying? We under 40 now. You feel me? And like we said, 5 home games this year at Panther Stadium. Texas Southern, Texas A&M Commerce, Florida A&M, and Alcorn State. Man, all big games. This is gonna be amazing because we're gonna play and we're gonna win and we're gonna host the SWAC championship this year, right? So make sure you guys are grabbing y'all season tickets. Again, there goes the numbers for each of the sections, right? It's $350 if you're trying to be in section 107. It's $350. If you're trying to be in 106 and 108 is also $350. And then on from there, right? You know what I'm saying? So $250 or $150 for just general admission season tickets, right? So which is not a lot. So if you're trying to get down with the get down, go ahead, get your stuff in order, right? So we can get it together. So with that being said, though, man, hey, listen, I ain't got nothing else for you. Unless anybody wants to call in and share their thoughts and you know what I mean, test my system, you feel me? You know what I mean? But I guess ain't nobody trying to test my system right now. You feel me? I guess I'm just gonna be on my own out here. I guess I'm just gonna be on my own. Let me see. The top two premium seating area comes with, yes, that's a good reminder, right? So if you're in section 106 to 108, or if you're in the 250 section, right? The premium seats, then yes, if you buy 2 season tickets, right? If you buy 2 season ticket packages, then you also get parking with that as well, right? But you do have to buy 2 season ticket packages, so you can't just get 1 seat. You know what I'm saying? You got to get 2 seats for that. But that's a good reminder, you know what I'm saying, on that as well. So, but anyway, with that being said, man, hey, listen, we appreciate you guys for joining the channel. Again, like we say, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this with others, man. Until next time, man, I'll holla.